So cool. So we have, well, one thing we did is we basically joined a couple of our teams together. So I know there's some newer faces on here. We got Emily Yanez's team. We got Desiree DeBay, Joy Avini's team. But we also have a guest team tonight. I'm really excited. We have Tim and Rachel, their team's on tonight because we wanted to kind of bring the Sundance mindset to you guys because we did get Sundanced. And we even have some guest speakers. Amber and Guy Leah took time out of their evening to kind of share with us some magic. So once again, my name is Justin Avini. I'm super excited for you guys to be on tonight. Please do yourselves a favor. I'm not going to shit on you, but you probably should get a pen and paper out because these guys are going to really bring it home. I don't want to get into it too much. I'll let them start talking first, but there's something about Sundance. There's something about the cold, crisp air. There's something about being up there with just that next level of person, and it just pushes you to grow. I don't want to steal anybody's lines, but it's almost like you don't want to be the biggest, strongest, or richest person in the room. You're not doing it right. And so just to see that up this weekend and some amazing stories. So anyways, I want to bring on Tim and Rachel to kind of kick us off with this magical weekend, man. Tim and Rachel, are you guys there?
Yes, we are. I'm going to let Tim go first and he'll kick us off and get started. Hello, everyone. Good to see so many faces.
Good evening, everybody. Well, if I can get that out, let me try it again. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so Sundance. So one of the things I think everybody should know is that it really wasn't the place. I mean, let me just say the place was really cool, but it wasn't the place. I think it was more about being connected with like-minded people that actually saw it a lot differently than I did. I think one of the things when I think about Sundance, or when I think about being at Sundance, I think the thing that really stood out to me was, man, how much I still have to grow here. And that's really what I wanted to share with you. I just wanted to give you my own, just kind of where I've been in this journey. And I think it may be helpful. And then I have a couple things for you that I think will be helpful. So I think, when I think back to when I first started coaching, first of all, many of you may know or not that Rachel and I started a program together. And it wasn't until a year later, we went to go global. She made ED, frontline, and I think we had one, maybe two senior coaches at the time. And I got to see Dr. A on stage with his wife, Lori. And one of the things I caught right away, this was something different. Dr. A is extremely passionate, but more than passionate, he lives this mission out. And he lives this mission out from a place of, he doesn't see people the way that I see them, maybe even the way that some of you see them. And what I mean by that is, I think as I started coaching with Rachel that year later, one of the things that I started to do was start to decide who needed this program. I started to look at people like, hey, if you have a weight loss story like mine, you can help other people. And I'm just here to tell you, I was so wrong. Because if you ask me, and I know a lot of you may know this, is that why I'm here today is totally different from the reason why I started coaching people. You see, when I started coaching people, it's because as a fireman, I was gone all the time. I worked 100 overtimes a year, which that translates into 124-hour shifts. So you do the math. I was never home. We had a great life, if you want to call it that. I mean, I was just checking in, really. But the reality is that this started out for me as like, hey, this is a way for me to get home with my family. But can I tell you, the more that I started helping more people get healthy, I started to get healthy here. I actually started to apply the things that a lot of you are experiencing in your life, in your marriage, in your family. And I started to see that impact within my immediate family, the way that they experience me. And so I'm just going to be unplugged. Hopefully, Justin, that's totally okay. I know that you trust me now. And I say that because I think one of the things that we do that I'm just going to be in full transparency is when I first met Justin, his passion is a lot like Dr. A's. He sees this as a vehicle to help people, regardless of whether they need to lose weight or not. You see, there's people in this world that just need to know there's a way to help people, and you get healthy in the interim. That it's going to change the way that your relationships are with your family and your friends. You're going to look differently. You're going to talk differently. You're going to act differently. And it could be the way that you start to do life differently. And so when I first met Justin, I was really taken back by, man, he'll talk to anybody. You guys know, he doesn't care. And I saw that as lack of love. Like, oh, he doesn't see that this mission is about people getting physically healthy, but I was the one that didn't get it. And I'm going to tell you, in the last year, I started to shift that way of thinking, but this Sundance was so different because what I heard from the best of the best coaches wasn't about how to sling fuelings or to try to get people to coach. You see, their mindset and Dr. A's mindset is about everyone needs this, but not everyone is going to get the opportunity because of me, people like me that said, hey, oh, you don't need to lose weight. Oh, you make this much money. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to talk to you about what's changing my life. But can I tell you, I've been Sundanced. Like, it's a thing, it's real. Some of you may liken it to like a mountaintop experience. If you've ever been at a church convention, or not convention, but you know what I'm talking about, where you go up and it's a retreat. There we go. A retreat, and you come down the mountain, you have this mountaintop experience. That's not what this is. It's like when you hear the truth for the first time and it hits you and there's nothing you could say. And so I just want to tell you, like, Justin and so many people that have gone before us, they've done the hard work. They have really laid the foundation for you and I to start helping other people. And yes, you're going to build an amazing business that's going to give you the time freedom that I'm enjoying. I'm starting to enjoy. Let me just tell you, I'm starting to enjoy it. But I had to go about change totally differently. So I wrote a couple things down for change, and then I'm going to let Rachel take over here. So first of all, sometimes we think change is like moving the furniture around the room. That's not change. So when you think about sponsoring, I don't want you to think about moving the furniture around. It has to look totally different. The paradigm in which you're using in order to help people change, you have to be honest with them from the very beginning. Meaning, when you talk to them for the first, like there's someone that I'm meeting tonight for a health assessment. They're going to know clearly that coaching is for them, and that my clients coach with me because they see that this is for them. And that if he starts to see results in the first week, trust that the process is going to work for him too, more than just in his weight. It's going to impact his relationships. It's going to impact all of the things that create that thing in life that we call happiness or joy. And it starts with doing the work here. So I wanted to give you that piece. And the other thing I would just say, change requires systemic change, meaning you have to use the system in order to create the change, all 4 components. This is a relationship business, and there's no way that you can build relationship by texting people, right? If you've heard my trainings, you know how I feel about Zoom. I was the guy when Josh and Michelle talked about Zoom, I said, I will never get on a Zoom with my clients. I don't do that. Can I tell you, that's the way that I do every single call that I have. Now, I realize for a lot of you, you're in between doing something else in Optavia, but I'm here to tell you that if you want to transform your business, think about the time that you do have to do some of your calls in Zoom, because how else will you connect here with people that you're looking to say, hey, do you trust me enough to come with me? Do you trust me enough for me to show you how you stay healthy forever? So I apologize, I went a little bit long.
That's okay. Yeah. So that was awesome. I love that. I think my favorite part was moving furniture around the room, which kind of leads me to one of the key points. So we're always looking, what they shared with us, we're always looking for the people that are looking for us. And some of you may feel like if you had a ball and I were to throw the ball at you, right? And we do this with our coaches and we do this with our clients. So this is something they asked us all weekend, what are you going to stop doing? And this is one of my stop doings. Here, there's a training. Oh, they didn't answer. I'll tag you in 40 more trainings. Oh, you didn't answer. I'll just throw 47 podcasts in your business thread. Still nothing? I got more. I got bags of balls back here. I'm just going to keep pinging you in the forehead until you wake up, right? And they said, stop it immediately. That is not mentoring. That is not coaching. You are dragging people to do things that they really intrinsically don't want to do. One of two things could be happening. You lost them way back there, and you got to circle back and say, I noticed you're not throwing the ball back. I have 50 balls over here in my corner. Let's talk. Let's talk about your why for coaching. Let's talk about your mission. Let's talk about your vision. And let's make sure I'm not getting too far ahead of you or too far behind. And I think Becca Tinter, I never can say her name, right? Tinter. She nailed it by saying, supporting your coaches and clients is like Goldilocks. You don't want it, just right, not too much, not too little. You need to strike the just right. And that really hit me, guys, because I am dragging people and I need to stop it right now. So you have my commitment. I won't be dragging anybody post Sundance. So I hope that speaks to some of you. Don't throw balls at people's heads over and over again. They get red faces. The other thing is your stories, our stories, my story is either going to build my business, fuel it, or it's going to kill it. So maybe this week, identify what story you might have running in the background here and stop and notice it without judgment. Turn around and look at it and say, wow, that story, I don't think that story, if I tried to sell it to Dr. A, I don't think you'd buy it. And whatever that story is, just get it out because it's going to kill your business, which is going to kill your dreams. Okay. So we all have stories for our business. They're either going to fuel the mission or they're going to kill it. And we really got to stop and look at what that story is. It could be a bunch of things. And if you don't know what kind of stories could be floating back here because you can't even see it yet, ask your mentor. And I bet you they'll say, you know what, that one sounds like scarcity. That one sounds like people pleasing. That one sounds like this. So maybe, look at the stories you're telling yourself. I want to tell you what I didn't hear at Sundance. I didn't hear what these giants, we stood on the shoulders of giants this weekend, right? We did not hear what their clients were not doing. We did not hear what their coaches were not doing. We didn't hear that all weekend. It was about radical responsibility, you guys, and it was about personal development. And it was so inspiring and it was so painful. Like it was so painful to be a senior coach in that room. That's kind of how we felt like senior coaches. And we love our senior coaches. If you're a senior coach, God bless you. We are not saying that for any degrading purposes, comparing us to that. We're just saying we were humbled. And I'll lastly say it by this. Sometimes rank can get your peacock feathers to be out where you're like, oh, I'm a global, look at me, Let me tell you, we got Sundance, which means that right when we walked in, they plucked all our feathers out.
I feel like a health coach.
We had nothing to peacock. Okay. It was like the best ever. So just get there any way you can, and we will turn it over to the rest of the group.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, it's so true. Becca Tinter literally Sundanced us. Like right out the gate, we thought we were in there, we were doing some stuff. And that lady just pretty much took us back to, we need to get a pen and paper and start, where's our coaching kit at? Like legit. So, but I want to get out of the way real quick because I know these guys came on as special guests and it's so true. One of the coolest things I think I've seen so far, and I want to share this in front of everybody, is Tim's energy is just different. I don't know if you guys see that. I've seen him on trainings. Usually he's more of the quiet, calm guy. But he's turning it around, man. He's becoming a Dan Valentine. We're gonna have to hold him back. I can see how it goes. But that's what this thing does, man. If you really understand what this can do for you guys, and I'm gonna talk about that on my turn. But I want to get out of the way for Guy and Amber to hop on. Thank you so much for being on here, guys. I know you have no relation to this, but that's just what we do. So, are you here?
Yeah. Thank you, Justin. I'll go ahead and start. First of all, we do have a relation here, and it directly ties in with one of the principles that was discussed at at Sundance. If you guys remember the image of the aspen trees and that whole discussion of this amazing, beautiful forest of yellow leafed aspen trees with that gorgeous white wood. And what we came to find out is those aspen trees are all connected by the same root system. And they literally are interconnected all throughout the forest. They don't operate very well without each other. We are a family. We may be in different lines of business. We may have different coaches and different passions. We may even do this process a little differently here and there because we have different cultures within our groups, but we are all one family and we all have the same mission and the same goal. And I love that we literally can all get together and work together to help Dr. A achieve his goal. And his goal was set before him 20 years ago. And he told us that he feels like here it is 20 years later, and he just now is starting to feel like we have the teams in place to really achieve the goal that he has always had in his mind. And that was literally mind-blowing for us to hear. My wife, he told my wife in the Q&A at the end, that we literally are subterranean. When you look at all these, like Rachel said, all these giants, the Dan Valentines and the Doug Woods and, the Becca Tinters and all these people that have been doing this for 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And you look at them and say, gosh, I don't know that I could ever achieve that level of business. And Dr. A said, no, wait a minute. You guys, you are subterranean right now. You are literally on the ground floor of the opportunity that Optavia is now going to become worldwide, not just United States, but a worldwide vision to turn around this world. And every single one of us is together in this mission. And it was literally was amazing to think about that. He said, everyone that went before us, they had to work out all the kinks. So they've are delivering to us a system and a company that is ready to go, ready to deliver on its mission and its promises. And that was so refreshing to hear. I have to say, I think that the two of the things that really stood out for me, I wasn't prepared to talk, by the way, tonight, so I'm kind of go off the top of my head. So sorry, I don't have direct quotes and everything, but so many of the speakers said, in order of the things that we need to do in order to be successful in this business and this journey is, one, we need to focus on our own journey, our own health journey. And two, we need to focus on our own personal growth, becoming the leaders that we all have the potential to be. So pursuing our own health, allowing our clients and everyone to see that we're also on this journey and that we're achieving these great health goals that we have. And then to develop ourselves so that we are amazing leaders that really have something to offer these people in this journey. And it was just so refreshing and so amazing to hear them say, they didn't talk about money. It wasn't, I want you guys to make millions. It wasn't about that. It was literally about ourselves and making sure that we are at that level that we need to be first so that we can deliver on the promise that we're making to everyone else and then go get them and bring them along with us on this journey. So those are just a few things that were really impactful for me. We have so much to think about. I feel like we could do this same call probably once a week for the next 4 weeks and still get through all the stuff that we got. But Amber, go ahead and why don't you share too?
Thank you, honey. I appreciate you. Guy and I don't have a lot of skin in the game on this call, in that you aren't anybody that's in our legs, right? But we have all the skin in the game in the world being on this call, because our goal is to reach as many people as we possibly can. And if there's something that we could share with you guys that's going to help you reach more people, we'll do it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. And so the other piece of why we're so willing to be here is because sometimes it's hard when you're talking to your own team for your team to understand just what they have in the leadership that they have, because you don't want to toot your own horn, and we are all in a place of growth. So I'm just going to come on here and tell you guys, in Emily, in Tim and Rachel, and in Justin, you have some of the best, most compassionate pure-hearted leaders you could ever hope to learn from. And so I just want you to please value this mentorship that you have in these leaders that are in front of you. It's so important. They are spectacular in every way. So a couple of the takeaways for me from Sundance was something that Kristen Dowd said. She said, I'm really brave, but I'm not always confident. And there's a difference, right, between courage and confidence. There's a difference between courage and confidence. You don't have to have confidence to have incredible impact in this business and in our world. You do have to have courage, but you don't have to be confident about it. You can do it afraid. So one of the takeaways for me is just understanding that I need to emulate courage so that my coaches will have courage and so that my clients will have courage. Because it takes a lot of courage to try again, doesn't it? On another diet. For some of us, it takes a lot of courage to do that. When I started on this plan, I wasn't confident that it would work for me, but I had enough courage to try, and it changed my life. And we need to remember that. So I want us to all think for a minute about what are we holding back from as coaches because we think that we have to be confident. What are we holding back on as coaches because we think we have to be confident? And are you willing to consider that you don't need to be confident, but that you can be courageous? I think that if we consider that at every aspect of our business and really however we live our lives, we will be world changers. And that answer to that question is going to be different for all of us. I know what it is for me. I know what I need to do differently. I need to do things afraid. And the reason I'm willing to do it is because my why is strong. I love people. I love getting on a celebration call today with a client, tip call, whatever you call them, where she's lost 9 pounds in 15 days already. And she's crying when I show her how much fat that is. And she can't believe it. She can't believe it, that it's been that much, but it's been 2 of these suckers, and she's crying. I am willing. Here's what we have to do. We need to lead vulnerably. We need to stay in tune with the impact we're making. You need to know that people are leading lives of quiet desperation. They're leading lives of quiet desperation. So much so that in 15 days, if they can come on a program and have success and lose a couple of these bad boys, they will weep in front of you, even though they barely know you. If I was not vulnerable in connecting and sharing and following up with people and courageous enough to do it, even when it was uncomfortable for me, I wouldn't be seeing that kind of joy. I wouldn't be that filled every day. So I'll wrap it up just by saying, are you willing to be uncomfortable? Because to be courageous when you're not confident, it will cause you to be uncomfortable. And so will you be willing to get comfortable with being uncomfortable? That's another thing I need to remind myself every time I start resisting. I don't think that person's going to want to hear from me. I shouldn't just be assuming everyone needs to be a coach. Yes, I should. I should, because it's my chatter that's making me uncomfortable. And if it's uncomfortable and I start talking myself out of something, for me, that's a sure sign that I need to be courageous now. I need to be vulnerable now. I need to get uncomfortable now, and I'm going to go. I'm just going to go. So I hope that blesses you. Please don't think you have to be perfect or confident or have it all together to make an impact and to do hard things. Suspend all fear and thinking and just go. Be courageous. People are leading a life of desperation quietly in their corner of the world. And what you do will matter to impact their lives. Thanks, you guys.
So awesome, man. And that's why they're building a phenomenal team is the hearts. That's one of the craziest things that I will tell you guys is if you feel, I'm going to speak for myself. Let me retract that. If I thought I had a lot going on at 39 years old, or I've been through a lot, some of the top leaders talking about vulnerability in this game have weathered storms that you guys couldn't even fathom. I'm just going to be honest. I couldn't even fathom. I was in awe sitting, waiting for dinner reservations. And luckily, they took an hour and 15 minutes to seat us, even though it was supposed to be 15 minutes. But you know what I learned in that hour and 15 minutes? Valuable information and longtime friends. Some of the funniest, most charismatic, amazing people, and they have stuff. That was probably my biggest takeaway is everybody, I didn't know how to word it, but I'm just going to say it. Everybody who's been through trauma is in that room. They got stronger, they leaned in, and they ran with it, and they found this amazing vehicle. They didn't use it to play the victim game. Another thing I'll tell you guys too, what I learned is I didn't know about the mission. I thought I did. I thought I was believing what Dr. A's mission was, but I know what it is now. Without a doubt, we need to understand, I need to understand, I understand now that this is something we cannot take for granted. And I will roll that into this. You guys hear all these guys on here, you will hear people say this. Well, Justin always says, we got to sponsor, we got to, coaching's for everybody. Coaching is for everybody. Coaching is for everybody. Let me say that again. Coaching is for everybody, but guess what? You know what I just wrote down? Not everybody's going to see it. So we don't, I'm going to we us right now, not me. We don't decide for everybody else. Our job is to simply share it with everybody. And if they see it, awesome. If they don't, that's unfortunate. And maybe they will later. We don't know. Those are a couple of things. Another thing I'll tell you is we always try to find balance, right? Without burnout, find balance. One of the coolest things I heard is you will never find balance, but you can find harmony. You can find harmony. There's no perfect family time with business time, overwhelming time, busy, messy time, notepads are perfect time, alphabetized everything time. Kids are loving what you're doing. They're hating what you're doing. Wife and husband are getting along 100% perfectly. It's going to be a hot mess all the time if you want to impact lives. But what you can find in that is harmony. You get everything just grooving. You build synergy. You get all of that going. So don't feel like we can find balance. There's going to be seasons. And I'm telling you right now, one of the craziest statements Jamil ever made to his coach, probably with a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of cockiness back then, was in 2012, he went to convention and he looked over at Karen Elstrom, which was his business coach at the time. Becky's his sponsoring coach. And he said, you got lucky. You just got lucky because I decided to do this. And I've been in this 8.5 years. And I literally smacked Jamil on the arm going to our dinner on Saturday night. And I said, hey man, all kidding aside, you just got lucky because I decided to do this. We're playing way too small. We all have been blessed to a certain extent, and this has become our new comfort zone. Tiffany Howard said it so well. She was burning out. She's one of the best, probably in the top 3 of coaches of all time, as far as business, work ethic, sponsorship, understanding, compassion, heart, you name all that. She's probably the top 3 coaches in this company. And what she said was that she lost her first love. And I'm challenging you guys today to go back and find your first love. This program has changed my life, my kids' life, my legacies, everything I thought was going to happen for me 5, 6, 7 years ago Total different path. And we have to remember that and care for that and love that. This vehicle, what Dr. A's put together, living on credit cards for 3 years, putting his kids in a place where he's not sure what's going to happen next, but he's just going to do it anyways, throwing stuff on the wall to see if it sticks. We all sit here and think, man, I'm a hot mess and this and that. He did it too. This is something else I want to tell you guys. It took him up to 14-ish roughly years to impact 1 million people. In the last year and a half, he's almost to 2 million. Do you see how this is going? 14 plus years to impact 1 million. And in a year and a half, we're at almost 2 million. We are the most densest company. 60 plus thousand active coaches, roughly. We are $1 billion company. Think about that. We are the 300 Spartan. That's a quote from Dr. A. We really need to understand like what we have here. And we're all in our own houses. I'm being honest with you. We're all in our own houses. We got the world's flipped upside down right now. But I'm going to tell you this. All those other leaders are still sponsoring people. All those other leaders are still finding clients. All those other leaders are still finding passionate people. So something I want to challenge you guys for. And the first thing I said was, is they've all been through stuff. Crazy stuff, like stuff you would just be like, huh? Like, is that even real? I think and Rachel and Tim as well. They should write a movie. A couple of the other couples I met, they should write movies about their lives. Things that people have gone through, and they still love the people and they still build this business. It's insane to understand what we have in our hands. I didn't get it. I thought I did. But I got Sundanced. We joke about that, but we did. We got Sundanced. I've been going there 7 years. And it just clicked. It just clicked. So I'm excited, guys. One of the last things I want to leave you guys with is be impactful and be intentional. We say this all the time and it sounds great and it's kind of fun and like, but I'm talking like, and all you animal lovers don't get angry, but I'm going hunting after people like people hunt animals. Like I am finding people. When you're making your list, don't make a superficial list. Be intentional. Like if your kid was in danger, if your kid walked out into the street, everything you had would be to get them out of that street before that car hit them, right? That emotion, that hunger is where I'm at right now. Like I'm looking for people that are looking for me. And like I said, you're going to offer this to everybody if you choose to, but not everybody's going to see it. So don't get that confused when Rachel's talking about throwing a ball at your head and you're not throwing it back. They're just not going to see it, but that's not your job to decide. Make the list, find the people. This mission needs to go to the next level. And Dr. A, I'm telling you right now, you know what he said? Oh, actually, it wasn't him, but he quoted it. This train's leaving. We may circle back around. You can get on the next time, but we're going. And I know me and Tim made a commitment. I know Guy and Amber made a commitment. We're getting busy. We got 30-day goals. Rachel's pushing me. She already got her down. I got to go get a whiteboard. I'm being real with you guys. She got a whiteboard. She put it in our little chat group from Sundance. Like we're going. Train's moving already. I got to jump off the station right now because Rachel's driving the train, but I'm just saying, guys. So anyways, I want to bring it back to Rachel real quick. And I know Tim had some other things he wanted to touch on. So guys, you go ahead and close us out, please.
Thank you, Justin. I just wanted to tap off a couple things you said first, and that was you're going to go hunting. And I want you guys to know that in order for Justin to go hunting, he has to be really clear about what the mission really means for him. And that's my challenge to you. You can't take on Dr. A's mission, meaning his heart is there's a reason behind that pull on his heart. You have to find how it's personal for you. Think about for you, what this has been doing for you. Like this journey, like most of us are like, we want to be successful. I mean, who bought their kit and said, I don't want to be successful? Like, let's be honest. So if you want to be successful, find that part of you that's like, this is why I'm here, and just be honest about it with yourself. And that's going to change everything, because it's going to, whatever you're saying or not saying is going to come out. So I want you to hear when he says that, I get it now. I mean, he's talking about his family. He's talking about the lives of other families that are going to benefit because of his courage, is what I texted him earlier. His courage for the passion of his conviction. And you know what? Some people may misunderstood it like me, but I'm going to tell you, I understand it clearly. And we are aligned, and we're aligned to bring you here to Sundance with us too. Like, I think that's what a lot of times I missed on trains. Oh, they want to, no. You know what really caught me funny was like, there wasn't enough of us from Jamil's team there. I was like, man, there was tables and tables of people. And guys, I remind you, it was 210 health coaches out of 60,000. I'm like, I want to make it a problem where they need to get another Sundance or something. Like, I mean it, because here's why. Because I know the journey for you to get to integrated presidential, there's going to be a lot of growth that happens here. And that's going to impact your marriage. That's going to impact your family, the way your kids experience you, the way you parent, the way you homeschool them, the way your community sees you and them, like how they're going to start showing up differently. Like our kids are just starting to, because of what we're doing. All of this work is important. And so if any of you want to come with us, I'm going to give you the formula right now. Right now, here it is. So write it down. Write it down. 60, 20, 10. 60, 20, 10. 60 health coaches. 20 senior coaches. 10 EDs. Now, when I say that, a lot of the chatter comes up. Oh, that's tough. Think about what you're confronting, that fear. If that mission is really clear for you, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. You have to start dealing with the chatter around why you think you can't do that. Think about this. Your life 20 years from now, if you decide tonight, not so perfectly, but consistently, and with consistency, you'll have the confidence, right? You'll learn something from it. But over time, I want you to think about 20 years from now, if you decide today, I'm all in. Like, I don't have the stuff that I need, but I'm in. Whatever they say I need to do, I'm in. I'm throwing the ball back and forth. It's not bouncing on my head, or I'm not avoiding it by not being on training or participating in the community. 20 years from now, how is your life going to look if you go all in? One thing I'm going to tell you that it will look differently is not just your finances. What will look differently is the way the world sees you, impacts you. The way you impact them is going to be so much more powerful. So I leave you with a lot of passion. Hopefully, you know, I'm talking to myself, just so you know. And for some of you, they're like, yeah, I don't want that. That's okay. But just know 20 years from now, you'll have made a decision that, you know, may be the thing that you're like, I wonder what would have happened. I'm just telling you. Come on in. Let's do this together. We want to help you. We want to work together to make this happen. So that's all I got.
Awesome. So good. So just real quick, a little bit of business for all the teams. It's a shared opportunity. Is when we talk amongst leaders, we have a current reality that needs some noticing. It doesn't need judgment. It doesn't need panic. It doesn't need any of that. But we are seeing as an organization, we'll say Jamil's organization and all of us that are leading, we are seeing that sponsoring is down big time. And now, in light of the conversations you've heard today from all of us, we realize that's the only way to protect someone's path. That our business is simple. We share our stories. We update our followers because we are evolving. We boldly invite them to come if they're willing. We then we support them in their journey experientially, right? And then we protect their path by allowing them to reverse engineer this, step into the true program, which is well outside of food, and cement their boots, right? So that's what sponsoring is. And so what I could deduct from that is that we have a lot of unprotected clients. That's the way I feel about it. I don't want to make it about, oh, I got to get them. I want to give them protection in their journey and help them finish well, like I'm going to finish well with all of you. So they're not going to get that. And so what we're noticing is right now, whatever your sponsoring number is, just look at it, notice it, and say, that's what I'm committed to. Then think about your desired outcome. 1 out of 5 people saying, yes, Joy, I know I could give you referrals, but it makes sense what you're saying, and I see it in you, and I want it. I'm scared to, I'm scared to do it. I didn't want to say it, but you guys know. But I trust you, and I want to take that leap of faith with you, and I'm ready, right? So we want 1 out of 5 clients to say that, the other 4 referring strongly. And we want healthy organizations. And guys, the numbers are really down, like really, really down. They're alarming. So what we need to do is not judge, but say, all right, cool. What are the secondary actions that lead to sponsoring? We know it's dripping on the health assessment. We know that it's those tip calls, those integration calls, that team coaching, and its community. So ask yourself, what do I need to stop doing tonight to be committed to a better number that better protects my clients? And just lean into mentorship, and let's get to work, because we have a lot of people, guys, that are not protected. They're going to go away, they're going to flounder, and they're not going to receive this kind of love and support. So I just wanted to put that on your radar. We all talked about it, and together we're better. We'll figure it out, right? I mean, all of us. And I think it's just a willingness, and it starts with the decision.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for touching on that. And guys, real quick, I want to just leave you with this. Rachel talked about transactional, right? As far as sponsoring numbers. But I want you to understand the stories I heard this weekend is what that sponsoring is going to bring to. Do you know a couple of the stories I heard? One of them, there's coaches that have friends that passed away, and they just got legal numbers to adopt these 2 kids. And this opportunity has allowed them to financially do that. They lost both their parents, and they are able to take them in. There's other people that have had traumatic things happen in their life. But that one for me is why sponsoring is so important. And that's what the mission is about. And you guys, I didn't get it. I got it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go help people. I'm going to help Roy and Don build this retirement business. And I believe that, don't get me wrong. But there's that next level of passion where it's like, I'm going to go find 30 of those guys because they don't got it all together. We talk about it a lot. All these posts on Facebook, all these happy, smiley stuff. They're all just like us. They all got stuff. Some of them got stuff you can't even fathom. And I'm saying that for myself. Like Tim says, when I'm talking right now, I'm talking to myself. I'm so passionate about this sponsoring. This isn't a weight loss company, guys. Please understand that. This isn't to get people to coach. Jamil didn't get me to coach. You guys didn't just show up almost the same day. I know I didn't. Maybe put a 1 in the chat or wink or whatever you want to do if you did. The exact same day somebody talked to you. But our job is to go out and share this and find those people. It's so crazy, the stories I heard. A mom with 5 kids, recently divorced. She grew 6. You guys sitting down? 6 in 3 years. She grew 6 Fibble, not Fibic, Fibble businesses. Do you know how many lives that is? Like for real? I'm not going to pull a Jamil, but for real, for real. So when we talk about sponsoring's down, you guys probably are like, oh, the money's flowing. I don't know. Maybe that, I don't know, Rachel, is that a story I'm telling myself right now, or is that fact? We talked about that this weekend too. What's facts and what's stories? Maybe that's a story I'm telling myself. Please prove me wrong. That we're not here to get people. We're not here to sell people. We're not here to do that. We are here to find people. And when they see it, they'll see it. So thank you so much, Tim, Rachel, Guy, Amber. I appreciate you guys coming on and sharing. It was honestly next level to hang out with you guys. I got to know these guys at a whole nother level. Like we talk and you think you know people, you don't know people. Let's go get to know people. Like for real, for real. So you guys have a great evening. I will definitely get this play back to all the leaders because I know there's a bunch of different groups. Thank you so much for being on. And dude, let's go do this, man. Train's leaving. I'm out.